Hello, Bible readers. It is Monday, June 14th. We're reading from Zechariah, chapters 8 through 14, and 1 Timothy. We're starting into chapter 1. The visions of Zechariah that we read last Friday, they come to a close today. They're capped off by God's promise of a restored Jerusalem, where peace and fertility and security will flow to Jerusalem, making it attractive to all the nations. That's how 1st Zechariah ends. 2nd Zechariah, as I mentioned Friday, is probably written by an altogether different author than the first 8 chapters. That's why we think of this in terms of 1st and 2nd Zechariah, because in this second half, you've got no dates. In 2nd Zechariah, you have no specific references to the prophet himself, like we do in the first 8 chapters. All this second half are messages or oracles spoken by the Lord. And so it's just a different thing than those first 8 chapters are. Chapter 8, of course, ends with hope of a new Jerusalem, with Jerusalem taking its place at the international table again, far more functional and populated by Jews than it was before. But then with chapter 9, it's like we go right back to destruction language. So as hopeful as chapter 8 ends, chapter 9 goes to a completely different place. But then at the end of chapter 14, it's a lot like chapter 8 again. So both 1st and 2nd Zechariah are ending in similar fashions. At the end of chapter 14, we've got eternal security for Jerusalem, and the world is streaming to it again. So there's a lot of differences between 1st and 2nd Zechariah, although they end in similar places. Notice that 1st Zechariah has confidence in leaders. 2nd Zechariah does not. Almost cynical about what leaders do and what their motivations are. 1st Zechariah has nations attracted to Jerusalem because of its peace and prosperity. In 2nd Zechariah, the nations are basically threatened with punishment if they don't keep Israel's festival. So really it's about a carrot or a stick is what attracts the nations. All in all, it's a book, 1st and 2nd Zechariah, the whole book is about the certainty of Jerusalem's restoration. So it looks at that restoration perhaps from 2 different angles and in 2 pretty different ways. But altogether, that message that is most unified is that Jerusalem is being restored. 1 Timothy, probably a pseudonymous, can't say that word. It's probably a pseudonymous letter from Paul's school of thinking. The Lutheran Study Bible had a great analogy about how pseudonyms work. It's like when you sit down and watch a Disney film in 2021, like a new Walt Disney movie. Walt Disney's dead. He's been dead for a number of years, but it's a movie made in the fashion of a Walt Disney movie. So even though Walt Disney never saw The Lion King, that movie is in keeping with Disney values and the Disney way. So that's kind of what a pseudonymous, letter would be like. It's in the way of Paul. It's called 1 Timothy because it's written to Timothy, not by Timothy. And we know Timothy from Acts, from Romans, from Philippians. This is a close associate with Paul, someone quite younger than him, we can discern. 1st and 2nd Timothy, along with Titus, are called the pastoral epistles because they're meant to guide the pastoral work of church leaders, like Timothy. Timothy's been left, he needs some help. He's been left to face false teachers by himself. This letter dwells in 2 things then. Confessions about Jesus as God, because when you're trying to put false teachers in their place, you need to be solid as to who Jesus is. And then the second thing is instruction to Timothy. Do this, do that. Lead a life of love and godliness, and the rest of things will fall into place. I am one with my God. My God is with us, all of us, at all times and in all places.